Ogof Agen Allwedd, also known as Agen Allwedd, is one of the longest cave systems in Wales. In 1974, two friends embarked on a journey into the cave, but little did they know only one of them would return. Despite being skilled divers, they pushed their limits a bit too far. This is Fatal Tragedies, with the story of Roger Solari and his friend Martyn Farr. The cave system, Ogof Agen Allwedd, stands as the longest cave system on the Langatok escarpment, boasting an extensive network of passages stretching over 20.2 miles. Notable for its vast expanse, Agen Allwedd unfortunately contains few formations. However, its significance extends beyond its geological features. The cave serves as a crucial habitat for a considerable population of bats. Recognizing the ecological importance of these creatures, they are strictly protected from disturbance under various legislations, including the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981, the Habitat Regulations Act of 1994, and the EC Habitats Directive. Deliberately or recklessly disturbing bats is a criminal offense. Cavers are urged to exercise caution and take measures to avoid causing any disturbance to this vital bat habitat. Initially, this cave was accessed through the Agen Allwedd entrance. However, access has since been gated through the Ogof Agen entrance, offering an alternative route that bypasses an awkward rift section. The original path through this section is now obstructed by a pillar. To enter the cave, individuals with valid permits can obtain keys, and they're required to sign a book indicating the chosen route. Certain regulations govern activities within the cave. Notably, the use of carbide is prohibited. Additionally, specific permits are necessary for camping inside the cave, engaging in blasting activities, or conducting research. These measures are in place to ensure responsible exploration and conservation of the cave system. In 2005, some divers decided to explore Agen Allwedd in order to figure out the tricky connection leading to Darren Sea Lab. They began digging into the inlet and uncovered a beautiful 984-foot passageway in the cave system. This passage eventually leads to the stunning corkscrew chamber. The cave's pathways extend for more than 20.2 miles. As you enter, you'll go through a short series at the entrance, then encounter the first boulder choke. There are also other round passages to check out inside the cave. Initially, you'll need to crawl through the long entrance passageways, but eventually, you'll reach larger ones that you can explore without any special diving equipment. One interesting journey within Agen Allwedd is the Grand Circle, located in the mainstream passageway. This route boasts 4 boulder chokes, passages blocked by rocks. Another round passage, the Southern Stream Passage, is long, damp, and quite tiring. Delve into the cave's outer and inner circle, including the fascinating Turkey Stream Way, featuring an amazing stream with pools. However, be prepared to spend about 6 hours on each round passage, and caution is essential, especially during the rainy season. Why, you ask? Well, that's obvious. These areas are prone to flooding. The waterway at the third boulder choke is often filled, and during extreme floods, passage to the second boulder choke becomes impossible. The confined section of Turkey Stream, way beyond Northwest Junction, is also off limits during heavy floods. It's also worth mentioning that Brian Price and his partners were the first to investigate the cave in 1949. The following year, David Seagrove and Harold Hicken explored the passageways, advancing until they reached the first boulder choke. In 1957, the Hereford Caving Club pushed the exploration boundaries by breaking through the first boulder choke, which had previously hindered access to the main part of the cave. Then, in 1971 and 1972, John Parker, Jeff Phillips, and a few others took on the adventure of exploring the Agen Allwedd cave system. The duo, John and Jeff, made a significant discovery in 1972, uncovering a new passageway that extended for an impressive 1,969 feet. Roger Solari takes over. In the saga of Agen Allwedd's exploration, after adding an impressive 1,476 feet downstream to the known passageways, John's enthusiasm waned. Enter Martyn Farr, inspired by the legacy of diving adventures left by Parker. Taking up the torch, Martyn commenced his exploration in 1973. The following year, in 1974, he teamed up with Roger Solari for what would become the longest cave exploration at that time. However, this ambitious journey took a tragic turn when Roger faced an unfortunate incident. So, what exactly happened? Roger Solari, a true maestro of cave exploration in Great Britain, had an impressive resume of dives across Yorkshire, South Wales, and Ireland. A dedicated and resilient man in the realm of cave diving, Roger, despite his introverted nature, earned popularity and respect wherever he ventured. Nothing seemed insurmountable to him. He was a relentless pursuer of success. His journey into the underwater world began at the tender age of 12 in his homeland, the Forest of Dean. Through continuous exploration, he became intimately acquainted with the forest secrets and geology. Roger's academic pursuits focused on the Forest Master system, aiming to document various caves and mines within the forest realm. The prevailing notion was that these caves were linked underground, and the goal was to navigate through passages to discover the elusive connection to caves on the other side of the country or even the world. His life was a tale of pushing through challenges, transforming a forest into his canvas of exploration and discovery. Roger Solari's journey continued beyond his cave explorations. Graduating with honors in physics from Birmingham University, he not only excelled academically, but also assumed leadership roles. At his school, he held the prestigious position of president of the Speleological Society, showcasing his passion for exploration. The initial meeting between Martyn Farr and Roger occurred during Roger's freshman year at university. Their friendship was built on mutual trust and reliability. Roger, recognized for his unwavering commitment, often waited patiently for hours as fellow adventurers gathered caving equipment. He was typically the first to venture into the cave. Roger went on to establish the Cave Project Group and joined the Forest Rescue Association, further cementing his commitment to spelunking and safety. In contrast, Martyn, known for his smaller stature, speed, and strength, had a penchant for exploring various sections of the cave, willingly embracing more risks. Despite their differences in approach, their friendship thrived on a shared passion for exploration. While Roger excelled in steadfastness in being the first to enter the cave, Martyn's curiosity led him to focus on exploring the Atlantic area, where Agena Cave was located. Despite the potential for significant discoveries, access to the submerged passageways in this region was frequently restricted due to the inherent dangers associated with exploration during the specific period. On Saturday, June 15, 1974, a pivotal moment in the Agen Allwedd Cave's history unfolded as Roger Solari, accompanied by the renowned Martyn Farr, embarked on a daring mission. Martyn, a stalwart figure in cave diving, had earned global acclaim for his remarkable discoveries in the cave diving community. His journey into caving began at the tender age of 10, showcasing a remarkable passion for the discipline. As a testament to his dedication, Martyn achieved his first discovery of new caves by the age of 16. His adventurous spirit and early accomplishments mark him as a true pioneer in the world of cave exploration. Together, Roger and Martyn aimed to push the boundaries of exploration, extending the passages of Agen Allwedd Cave from where John Parker had left off. In 1971 and 1972, significant diving explorations unfolded in the Ogof Cave, led notably by John Parker. However, the demanding nature of solo diving took a toll on Parker, leading to burnout. He realized that he was committing errors, potentially life-threatening, which were unusual for him in cave exploration. Recognizing the need for a break from navigating perilous water-filled caves, Parker decided to step back and hand the reins to someone else eager to make a mark. Someone like Martyn Farr. They recalled the achievements of John Parker, who had uncovered an additional 1,476 feet of passageway. So, Roger and Martyn were poised with only one objective in mind: to surpass the point where John Parker had halted, delving into the uncharted sections of this mysterious underground realm. This initiative marked a new chapter in the ongoing saga of cave exploration, with Martyn Farr ready to take up the challenge and push the boundaries of discovery. However, a month before their planned dive, Martyn had already ventured into the cave system, although without Roger, who unfortunately had to bow out due to a knee injury. This unforeseen obstacle marked a poignant moment in the lead-up to their joint exploration, the discovery of a dream passage. In the course of their exploration, Martyn Farr reached the point where John Parker had halted, discovering a vast passage that beckoned into the darkness. A passage that all cave divers dream of finding. Filled with excitement, Martyn hurried down the passage, eager to unravel its mysteries. However, his exploration on this day came to an abrupt halt due to insufficient air in his tanks. But still, Martyn was not satisfied, and he was ready for another exploration, this time around being well prepared. So, a month later in June 1974, Roger and Martyn geared up for an extensive exploration. Their destination? The downward stream Sump 4 in the mainstream. Armed with 3 air cylinders, a pair of boots, and a line reel each, they encountered smooth progress until reaching Sump 4. Roger led the dive, laying line with his 400-foot reel, while Martyn followed closely with the 1,000-foot reel. During the dive, Roger signaled difficulties with the sinuses, a challenge he had faced before. Despite Martyn suggesting a return when the issue persisted, Roger, determined to continue the exploration, pressed on. They operated independently during the dive, allowing either of them to decide when to surface, an integral part of their plan. As Roger's line reached its end about 400 feet into the sump, it became evident that they were at a depth of 50 to 60 feet, and the passage continued to descend. Martyn, nearing his first third limit of air, chose to continue, while Roger, with slightly less air, was urged to head back. Martyn progressed into the deeper passage, around 150 feet later, where he should have turned back, but he noticed a gravel bank with a steep upward slope. Checking his pressure gauge, he realized he was well into his second third of air. In a desperate attempt for air, Martyn ascended the slope, hoping for an air pocket. Raising higher and higher, just about 3 feet below the water's surface, he realized there was no breathing space. With only half a bottle of air remaining, Martyn had to use it wisely to escape the cave. Pushing his limits to the extreme, Martyn swiftly made his way out, spotting Roger near the passage roof at the shallow depth of 3 feet. Signaling to Roger that it was time to surface, Martyn dropped his reel and Roger clung to his line. Both perilously low on air, the urgency to exit was paramount. Martyn reached the deepest point and began the return journey along the tunnel. However, due to his rapid ascent, he experienced acute ear pain. Pausing on the line to clear his ears, Martyn waited, but Roger failed to emerge. The situation grew tense as minutes passed without Roger's appearance. Martyn's desperate escape. Realizing he lacked sufficient air to search for Roger in the tunnel, Martyn made the tough decision to ascend and reach the surface. Relief washed over him as he emerged, but Roger's absence left him uneasy. Waiting for Roger, Martyn grew increasingly concerned, pondering the possibilities of what might have transpired. As time passed, Martyn, running out of air, faced a difficult choice. He couldn't wait any longer for Roger inside the cave, a decision aligned with professional diving practices. However, with Roger still absent upon Martyn's return to the surface, he faced the dilemma of whether to risk re-entering the cave with his air reserve. Taking the risk, Martyn re-entered the cave, pulling the line. However, it was slack. Proceeding about 430 feet or 131 meters further, he encountered the same issue. The line had been cut approximately 30 feet or 9 meters after the point where it was joined. With insufficient air to continue safely, Martyn returned to the surface. He waited anxiously, faced with the grim reality of Roger's prolonged absence. Upon the return of John Elliott and his friends from their 9-hour dive, Martyn shared the disconcerting news that Roger had not returned from the fourth sump. Swiftly, they reported the situation to the police, and the cave rescue team, initiating a response to the unfolding crisis, arrived on scene. And now it was time for search and rescue efforts. In response to the tragic incident, John Parker, renowned for his expertise, was called upon. On Sunday evening, the recovery team attempted to dive and retrieve Roger's body. Unfortunately, heavy rainfall in South Wales resulted in poor visibility, complicating their efforts. Despite spending the night at the site, the search was suspended due to the challenging conditions. After a few days, on the following Thursday, the search resumed with a team of 10 divers, including John Elliott, John Parker, and Colin Edmund, a local diver. Their focus shifted to the terminal sump where Roger was last seen. John Parker and Colin Edmund entered the cave, while the others waited at the surface. However, poor visibility persisted, and when Colin surfaced after reaching the third sump, he reported the challenging conditions. Undeterred, John Parker, armed with 4 air cylinders, continued the search alone. Despite laying over 500 feet of line and poor visibility, Roger's body remained elusive. After 3.5 hours, Parker returned to the surface. The collective decision of the 10 divers, after a brief meeting, was to call off the search to avoid further risks. The fruitless 10.5-hour effort marked a somber end to their quest to find Roger Solari. Regrettably, Roger's body could not be retrieved from Agen Allwedd, leaving the circumstances of his fate shrouded in mystery within the cave. The cave diving community was left to grapple with the unknown, speculating on the possibility that he may have become entangled, leading to his decision to cut the line from the reel. Roger Solari's cheerful spirit would be sorely missed by his diving buddies and the members of his cave community in South Wales, Yorkshire, and Ireland, where he had left an indelible mark. And that concludes our fascinating journey into the depths of Ogof Agen Allwedd, the longest cave system in the Langatok Escarpment. But before you go, here's a question for you. If you could explore any cave system in the world, which one would it be? And what mysterious wonders do you think you'd uncover? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the adventure. Thanks for joining us on this exploration. And until next time, happy spelunking.